Subscribe to Feminism in India for your dose of intersectional feminist content and make sure to hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
Are you exhausted all the time? Does even the thought of work get you really stressed? Has every single day in the past couple of days been a bad day? Chances are, if you've answered yes to all of these questions, you may be experiencing what's known as burnout. But what is burnout and what can we do to prevent it? Let's take a look. Burnout isn't exactly a medical condition. The WHO defines burnout as an occupational phenomenon. Burnout can simply be defined as a state of prolonged physical, mental, as well as emotional exhaustion. And it's usually caused by excessive and prolonged stress. And when that happens, a person experiencing burnout can feel drained, fatigued, and just unable to cope with everyday life. They may even start to lose interest in things that usually did motivate them. At some level, haven't we all faced this? Hasn't this crippling exhaustion almost been a fixture in our adult lives? Where we spent days after days just staring at our screens and after hours had to Google how to find motivation. But the question that arises is that when burnout is so common, is it an individual issue or is it part of the larger systems within which we operate? Often, when we're trying to break this pattern and find ways of preventing burnout, we're just met with different reiterations of advice columns and friendly suggestions that say things like, oh, just take a break, or try doing something that you love, or, take a day of self-care and self-love. But in a capitalist society that depends so heavily on hustle culture, we really need to ask ourselves, are we in an environment where we can take a break? And taking a break is also a question of privilege. Can everybody afford to take a break? While many of us do face burnout, it's not necessary that we are always facing it because of the same reasons or that it affects us in the same way. Studies suggest that even the phenomenon of burnout is gendered, with women having to face the brunt of both their professional life as well as the domestic care work that they may have to do at home. As work from home became the norm during the COVID-19 pandemic, it didn't really serve as the great equalizer that everybody thought it would. We spoke to Anushka Akhori from the Borough Counselling to understand what can be done about burnout at both an individual as well as an organizational level.
Our entire agenda here is to understand and avoid a situation which makes me feel exhausted, tired, lethargic, or burnt out. The first thing we want to remember is understand the source of this lethargy. Why am I feeling so tired when it comes to work? Is it the time crunch that I'm facing? Is it the work-life balance or my everyday workload? Any of these and many other examples can come to mind when we start to feel burnt out. The second thing to keep in mind is to understand and respect your own capacity at any given point, be it mental or physical. One must be well acquainted with how much workload they are able to consume or take in one go, and be very vocal about this with your employers, with your organization, with your managers. We often hear about people going on vacations or taking breaks to get out of their burnt out phase. What we don't realize is that it's a very temporary fix. We're actually leaving the environment that causes us immense stress or exhaustion and separating ourselves from that environment. We yet, after our vacation or our break, we come back right in our environment, not having fixed what the problem was and continuing back into the same loop. Now, coming to the other side of the spectrum, what are the few things managers or employers can do to ensure that the burnout situation doesn't get too out of hand for their employees? First and foremost, they have to create a situation and environment where the employees and themselves are interacting on a regular basis and discussing how the work-life balance is going. Happiness quotient, satisfaction quotient, these things have to be kept in check by the managers for their employees to understand the real picture of what the situation is like. Secondly, each organization must create a space where professional mental health services are provided to their employees. Each employee should feel like there is a space in their organization where they can go and work out some of the issues that they might be feeling, work out any kind of discrepancies that might be creeping into their work, and understand and work on them productively.
The modern workplace and the challenges that it presents isn't the only source for burnout. For marginalized communities, especially, being at the end of systemic oppression and violence, as well as trying to resist it, can really take a toll. The fight for social justice can be exhausting, and cynicism and disillusionment an obvious consequence. It is then important to group together, form a community, and to find that sense of solidarity. It's even more important for the privileged to then stand with the marginalized and acknowledge their own role in contributing to a system that's responsible for the oppression that marginalized communities face. So the next time you feel a little burnt out or tired, don't feel guilty about it, or see it as a measure of your personal capabilities. We all inhabit various structures that can cause us to feel burnt out, and this is not an individual problem, and so it shouldn't be seen as one. What are some ways that you deal with this fatigue? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And do subscribe to Feminism in India for your dose of Desi intersectional feminist content.